come on down to your yoga mat. Set yourself up on all fours. Set yourself up on all fours. Drop your belly to the floor. Loop your shoulder blades back. Lift your heart and your chest and look up. As you breathe out, puff between your shoulder blades, round into your upper back, and look towards your tummy. Inhale, drop your belly, loop your shoulders back, lift your heart, lift your chest and your gaze. Exhale to round. Come back to a neutral spine. Take your hands an entire footprint forward, so an entire footprint forward. And then sink your hips down towards your heels. Push the floor away. Drop your forehead to the floor. Take a big breath in. Exhale here. Walk your hands over towards the right. Press the floor away with both hands. Breathe here. Walk through center and over to the other side. 3 deep breaths as you stretch towards the left now. Good. Come through center again. Ground through your left hand and scoop your right arm underneath your torso. You can drop your bum all the way back towards child's pose. Scoop your right arm under. Take your left fingers either right out in front or walk your left fingers over towards the right. And just start to breathe. 3 breaths. Walk your left fingers back through center, press them down just to come up for a brief moment to switch sides. Now your left arm comes under, your right hand can stretch right out overhead, or maybe you begin to crisscross it over towards the left side of your mat. Find the place where this feels good in your spine. Walk your right fingers back through center. Left hand comes up to meet right hand. And pull yourself up back onto all fours. Flex your feet here. Puff into your shoulder blades and lift up into a downward facing dog. When you get there, bend one knee and then the next. Just start to walk out your dog. Let your head hang heavy. Internally rotate your lower arms, so beneath your elbows, as you externally rotate your upper arms above your elbows. Push your chest back towards your thighs and draw your tailbone down as your ribs and your belly tuck in. Spread your toes wide, soften your toes, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, ripple your weight forward to high plank. Come forward to high plank. Bend your knees so they're hovering against the floor. Send your hips back like you're about to blast off here. This almost feels like a big old runner's lunge. And then lift your hips high up again. We'll do this a few times, just flushing out the spine. Inhale, float forward to a high plank. Bend into your knees. Push your bum towards your heels. Stretch through your palms. Now lift your bum high, downward dog. Last time, inhale forward to high plank. Bend your knees, they're hovering against the floor as your bum glides towards your heels. Now lift your bum up high. Lower your heels by any amount. Inhale, ripple your weight forward one last time. Drop your knees, your chest and your chin to the floor so your bum is lifted high like you could wag a big old tail. And then drop the rest of you down. Walk your hands a whole footprint back so they're right beside your side ribs. And tuck your shoulders in as your elbows drive in towards one another. Press down for all 10 toes. Push down through all 10 fingers. Lift your heart, lift your chest, baby cobra. Exhale here. Inhale again, baby cobra. Exhale here. This time, place your elbows on the floor, right beneath your shoulders, and lift yourself up into Sphinx pose. So a really delicious back bend that shouldn't cause too much strain. If it does, walk your hands forward a little bit. Soften your pubic bone, but engage your legs and just notice how that changes the sensation in your spine. So when we work on back bending, anytime you feel too much compression, so that's the bone hitting the bone in your spine, just engage. Create more muscular action in your legs. Hug your muscles into your bones, and that should take away some of that pressure. Now either stay here or take your hands mat distance apart, press into your hands and straighten your arms. This is called seal pose. Notice what happens if you engage your quads, engage your legs, squeeze your butt cheeks together. Notice how it feels if you draw your gaze down or lift your gaze up. What happens if you engage your core? This exploration will come in really handy when we do more dynamic back bends. Lower back down, all the way to the floor. Place your hands under your forehead. Bend into both knees and flop your legs from side to side. Good. Bring your hands back beside your torso. Flex your feet. Press yourself up and back into a downward facing dog. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. Bend into both knees. Hop or step to the top of your yoga mat. Press your hands into your shins. Lift up halfway. And then exhale, lower and fold. Root down through the four corners of both feet to rise up. Your arms stretch up overhead. Now exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Take your hands behind your back and interlace your hands behind your back. Interlace your hands behind your back. Plug your shoulder blades in, draw your tailbone down. Activate your quads, lift and open through your heart. Inhale. As you exhale, bend into both knees, start to hinge forward. And allow your arms to either stay glued towards your hips or float up overhead. Your head is dumping out any distractions, any thoughts, any to-do lists or responsibilities. Now slowly, carefully, with bent knees, lower your hands to the floor. Inhale, lift your spine halfway. Exhale, plant your palms and step back into plank pose. Come down onto your forearms in plank pose. You can interlace your hands or keep your palms flat. So your hands can be hip distance or your hands can be interlaced. Walk your feet in by any amount and lift your bum up. This is called dolphin pose. This can be either torture or absolute delight for your shoulders. Press into your forearms. Push your chest back towards your thighs. The crown of your head is dripping towards the floor. Inhale. Exhale, drop your knees to the floor and let your hips sink back. Child's pose. Walk your hands forward, forward, forward in child's pose. Feel that shearing, that pulling through your side body. Inhale. Exhale here. And then relax through your shoulders. Turn your palms to face up. Bend your elbows and catch your shoulders and give your shoulders a little massage. So wiggle your weight forward, come all the way down onto your tummy. All the way down onto your tummy. Open your arms wide into that T shape. Keep your right ear on the floor, and if it can't quite reach the floor, you can add a blanket or roll your yoga mat up here. Push into your left hand and roll onto the outside edge of your body, so you're lying on the right side of your body. Your legs can be straight, or you might bend your left knee. Your left arm can stay on the earth or float up and over towards your right fingers. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Take your last breath in. Exhale, melt back through center. Your forehead comes to the floor. Flatten your arms alongside your body. Breathe in. Breathe out. And now take that on to the other side. So your left arm is out, and to make it even more challenging, you might bend into your left elbow. Come to lie flat on the left side of your body. Your left ear can be on the earth or supported by a prop. Reach your right arm up if you wish. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath in. Exhale. Float back onto your tummy. Hands just come flat beside your body. Inhale. And exhale. Imprint your hands into the floor. Push up and back, downward facing dog. We'll do a few of those downward dog movements again. Inhale, float forward, high plank. When you get there, bend into your knees, push your bum to your heels, then straighten out your legs and drop your head. Inhale, forward, high plank. Hover your knees above the floor, your core is engaged. Push your hips back to your heels, then lift your legs high, downward dog. This time, inhale forward to high plank. Lower your elbows halfway, turn onto the tops of your feet, and come into a full upward dog. Hold here. Press into the tops of your feet and the bottoms of your hands. Loop your shoulders back. Squeeze your butt cheeks together and draw your tailbone down. Good. Now drag the mat towards you with the tops of your feet. Push the mat away with the bottoms of your hands, like you're trying to press your hands and your feet together. Inhale. Engage your core, so hug into your midline and push up and back, downward facing dog. Turn both toes towards the right. You can come up onto your heels to do this. Push the floor away with your hands and bend your knees by any amount. Push the floor away with your hands, bend your knees. Your toes are both facing the right. Come back through center. Other direction, toes face the left. It's a very awkward shape. Bend into your knees, really good for your side body. Return back through center. Inhale, look forward. Exhale out all your air. Bend into your knees, hop or step forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Root down through your feet. Inhale, stretch high to the sky. Exhale, take your hands to heart center. Inhale, lift your arms up overhead, and when they get up overhead, grab a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Firm down through the soles of your feet and start to stretch towards the right. Kick your hip towards the left as you reach your hands towards the right. Draw your gaze down. Inhale to your chest. Exhale, squeeze your bum cheeks together. Engage your core. Draw your tailbone down. Inhale, come back through center. Switch sides. So the opposite hand grabs the opposite wrist. Your hips fling in the opposite direction of your hands. You're creating a big crescent moon shape here. Breathe in with strong muscles in your lower limbs. And breathe out to dive a little deeper in that stretch. Inhale back through center. Exhale, take your arms down alongside your body. Shoulders shrug. 3 times in each direction. After those 3 movements, bend deep into your knees. If you have a wall, you could do this against the wall. Otherwise, you're just going to do it right in space. We're holding here for a full minute, so you have time to go and find a wall. Good. So if you're against a wall or not, can you sink a little bit deeper? You might need to readjust your feet if you're against the wall, so it's like you're sitting in a big old chair. And if you're against the wall, can you imprint your entire spine into the earth? Otherwise, you're just breathing through the incredible amount of work that I'm putting your legs through right now. Holding here. 5 more breaths. 4, 3, 2, on 1. Press into the wall if you're against the wall to come up. Otherwise, come up like normal. Total stillness. Take mountain pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold it down to the floor. Inhale, press your hands into your shins, lift your spine halfway. Exhale, plant your palms, step back into a high plank pose, lower all the way onto your stomach. Take your fingertips just outside your yoga mat, elbows shoot up to the sky as all 10 toes plug into the floor. Inhale, a really, really fluid cobra, lift your heart in your chest. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up, look over your right shoulder. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up, look over your left shoulder. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift back up through center. Your heart is high here, your chest is open. Exhale, release. Plant your palms, press up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift your gaze forward, take your right foot and step your right foot between your hands. Good. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot, heel toe your right foot to the outside edge of your yoga mat, and drop your left knee down onto the floor. If you have a sensitive knee, place a blanket under it, or just fold your yoga mat in. It's a bit awkward to get there, but the support will feel really nice because we'll be here for a bit. Good. So your hands are on the floor. If your wrists are hurting, you can work from your fists. Just 3 breaths here. Notice the sensation through your pelvis, through your quads, your outer hip. And you might choose to stay right here. This might be more than enough for you. Or you can tackle the next 3 breaths from your forearms, coming down into lizard pose, coming down onto your forearms. 3 breaths. Whichever variation you're in, now you have the option to roll onto your right outside edge of your foot and open your right knee towards the right. Perhaps you even take your right hand towards your right inner thigh and begin to gaze up. Now you could do that with your elbow on the floor or with your hand down on the floor. And in either variation, we've done lots of quad and shoulder work already. You might bend into your left knee, reach back and catch your left foot with your right hand. Or if your strap or your lasso, whatever you chose, is nearby, you can lasso that around your leg. So this is really intense quad work, a very deep back bend. Don't worry if you can't get here. Breathe in. And breathe out. Release that foot down to the floor. Start to sink your hips back towards your left heel. Lift up your right toes and walk your hands about midway down your yoga mat. Your right leg is straight. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, fold by any mat. So this is the opposite action. Now you're shearing or creating tension in your hamstring in that deep back line of your body. 3 breaths. Good. Walk your hands forward. Take your time here. Unravel your mat if you folded it up. Place your hands on either side of your right foot. Lift up your left knee and push back, downward facing dog. This is like a little recess. You get 5 breaths to do whatever you want. Child's pose, a vinyasa flow transition. Maybe you stay here in down dog. 5 breaths. Meet back in downward dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale, look forward. Step your left foot between your hands. That same sequence arrives on the opposite side. Walk both hands to the inside of your left foot as you heel toe that foot to the outside edge of your yoga mat. Drop your right knee to the floor. Add any padding, as much padding as you'd like.
Notice the big angle on my back leg. So I'm not working from a 90-degree angle. My bum is not above my knee, it's ahead of my knee. That's how we target the quads. Either stay here or retreat down into lizard variation by coming onto your elbows. If you have blocks, you can come onto blocks. 3 breaths. From either variation, could you roll open onto the outside edge of your left foot now? Stabilize here with your hands on the floor or elbows on the floor. You might keep moving. You might take your left hand to your left thigh. You don't have to. You might even drag forward on that right knee, that right patella, reach your left hand back and catch your right foot in your hand or in your strap. Remember all the work we did with back bends and quads. You're going to squeeze your glutes together, draw your tailbone down, lengthen through and across your chest. Release that leg carefully, like you're drawing down very, very patiently. Take your hands to either side of your front foot and start to walk back. Hands come about halfway down your mat. Lift up your left toes. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward by any amount, 3 breaths. Brilliant. Walk your hands forward. Take as much time as you need. Unwrap that left foot. Press yourself up and back. Downward facing dog. Again, yogi's choice. You can stay here, move through a vinyasa, or rest in child's pose. Come back to downward facing dog. Look forward, step your right foot between your hands. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Lift all the way up into a high lunge. Hold here and breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. On this next inhale, reach your arms back by any amount. And as you exhale, bend into your elbows. Inhale, straighten your arms. Exhale, bend into your elbows. Squeeze into your inner thighs. Inhale, straighten your arms. Listen carefully. Exhale, rotate to the right. To the right. Open your arms wide to the right. It feels counterintuitive. Good. Take your right hand down your back thigh. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Beautiful. Exhale, bend into your left elbow. You can always drop your back knee. Place your left elbow across your right thigh. Place your right hand on your left hand. Press palm into palm. Draw your ribs up. Look up. If you got here and you're like, oh yeah, I got this, maybe lift your left leg now and really fire up that back thigh. Breathing into this twisted lunge for 3, 2, and 1. Patiently, cautiously, plant your palms on the floor. Float back, downward dog. Let's flush it out. Inhale forward to high plank. Bend your knees. Draw your hips back to your heels like we did at the beginning. Lift your bum high, downward dog. 2 more times. Inhale forward, high plank. Bend your knees. Move back towards your heels. Lift back up, downward dog. The last time. Inhale forward, high plank. Bend those knees, swivel your hips back, and up, down dog. Ground your heels by any amount. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, step your left foot between your hands. Feet are about hip distance apart, so you have lots of stability. Strength only comes if you have stability. So get that stability, then squeeze into your midline, lift all the way up, warrior lunge. Inhale. Exhale, bend deeper into your front knee. Inhale, reach through each of your fingertips. Exhale, bend into your elbows. Inhale, straighten your arms. Exhale, bend into your elbows. Inhale, straighten your arms. Exhale, rotate towards the left. Draw your left hip back and your right hip forward as you spread your wings wide. Take your left hand down your back thigh. Lift your right arm up, 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 and away. And now with your right leg lifted or bent, bend into your right elbow. Place it across your left thigh. Tack your left hand onto your right hand. Rotate. Scissor your thighs together. Maybe you gaze up. There's so much strength and focus here. Breathe. Really good. Plant your palms down on the floor. Push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward, high plank. Drop onto your knees. Open those knees wide. Sink your hips back to your heels. Child's pose. Breathe here. 5 breaths. Inhale, come back up. Take your yoga mat and roll your yoga mat up, or if you have a blanket, you can use a blanket. Come to stand on your knees with your knees about hip distance apart and your feet flexed. Think about drawing your tailbone down, lifting your pubic bone up. Place your hands on your lower back. Your fingers are just tickling the top of your bum. Pull your shoulder blades up and back. Draw your elbows together. Squeeze your butt cheeks together. Lift your pubic bone. Lift your heart in your chest. Imagine there was a puppeteer, a string on your heart, and it's like pulling, pulling, pulling you up, like pulling your heart out. Notice what it feels like as you start to tilt your head back. And draw your head back through center. Turn onto the tops of your feet. Go ahead, sit right down onto your feet. Place your palms face down on your thighs. Close your eyes. 3 breaths. Come on back up. We'll do this 2 more times. This is called camel pose Ustrasana. So one little tip when you take your head all the way back is you can actually shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. It looks terrible, but we don't need to look at ourselves. Shrug your shoulders to your ears, and it's almost like you create this little basket to catch your head when you do that. Let's try again and flirt with going a little further. Hands come to your lower back, fingers face down. Squeeze your bum cheeks together, engage your quads. Really engage your quads. Lift through your heart, lift through your chest. Imagine that string pulling you up. And now look back towards your right foot and maybe reach your right hand back towards your heel. Don't go this far if that hurts. Take a breath in. Exhale here. Walk your right hand back. Inhale. Exhale, take your left hand towards your left heel. Breathe in. And release your hand, comes back to your lumbar spine. Turn onto the tops of your feet and sit back on your heels. Palms face down, close your eyes. So you can choose to opt out of the third variation if this is causing a lot of strain in your back. These are big back bends. Just stay here. Otherwise, come on back up, flex your feet. And again, piece by piece, move into it nice and slow. Draw your hands down your bottom, loop your shoulder blades back, engage your core, engage your bum, engage your quads. All that work we've been practicing. Now you might push your pelvis forward and reach both hands towards your heels this time. And if you've come to that place, you can flirt with dropping your head back or keeping it looking forward and catching it with your shoulders. But continually try to set your hips above your knees. So you're pressing your pubic bone forward in space. Inhale across your chest. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, walk your hands back up your lower back. Drop the tops of your feet onto the floor. Sit onto your heels, palms down. Close your eyes. Breathe here. Good. Blink open your eyes, unravel your mat. So we're moving towards, flow classes always move towards a peak pose. We're almost there. Come back into downward dog. Just a few more minutes, and then we'll get to chill in some seated poses. From downward dog, shuffle your body forward to high plank. Lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, baby cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right foot high towards the sky. Look forward as you plant your right foot between your hands. Stretch both arms up overhead, reach high. And now open towards the left, find warrior two. Place your right elbow onto your right thigh. Stretch your left arm alongside your left ear, side angle pose. Press into both feet, straightening both legs as your arms open wide. Tilt forward like a teapot, triangle pose. Flex your left fingers, stretch them high. Inhale. Good. Exhale. Take both hands down to frame your right foot. Lift up your left leg. You're flying into warrior three. Press through your right foot. Bring your hands to heart center. Stay on your right foot. Bend into your left knee and reach your left hand back to grab your left foot. Grab your left foot with grab the inside of your left foot with your left hand. Maybe use your strap. Take your right arm high. This is your peak pose. It's called Natarajasana, a huge back bend dancer's pose. Kick your left foot back. Lift your heart. Lift your chest. Lift your right fingers. Look forward. Stay here and breathe for 5. Root down firmly through the 4 corners of your right foot. 3, 2, on 1. Step your left foot to the floor. Take your hands alongside your body. Inhale. Exhale here. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, float to the earth. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your palms. Step into plank pose. Flow through your vinyasa. Whatever your body needs right now, give it permission to go big or go small in these movements. From downward dog, inhale your left leg high, then step your left foot between your hands and reach up into your warrior lunge. Open straight away, warrior two. Open towards the right long edge of your mat. Quick, rapid movements. Bend your left elbow, place it on your left thigh as you stretch your right arm up alongside your ear. Push through your feet to rise back up, straightening both arms and both legs. Topple forward for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Your legs are still firm and strong. They're rooting you into the earth as your fingers stretch high. Good. Turn your gaze down, bend into your left knee, lift up your right leg. You're floating into warrior three. Maybe your hands stay on the earth, maybe they come to your heart. Just for a brief moment, because we're coming to our final destination in Natarajasana. Keep grounded through the 4 corners of your left foot and take the inside of your right foot into your right hand. Stretch your left arm up. Kick your right leg back. Draw your tailbone down. Smile across your collarbones. Lift your heart. Come back to our intention of giving and receiving love. Good. Drop that foot down onto the floor and shake out your hips. Sink into your chair pose, no wall this time. Feet are nice and wide. Keep grounded through your left foot. Lift up your right leg and place your right ankle on your thigh. This is pigeon pose. You can stay here, hands on your legs, hands at your heart. Oh, maybe you dive forward by any amount. It gets really juicy there through the outer hip and the IT band. Breathing here for 3, 2. You can even try walking over to one side or the next. And then really plant through your standing leg, come up and find neutral mountain pose. Inhale. Exhale. Drop your hips, other side. Then we come down to the floor. Take your left ankle across your right thigh. Lock your eyes on something so still. Hug into your core. Your belly is strong. And then play with the pose. Explore a little. What does it feel like if you take one hand down or both? Or if you walk your hands left or right. See if you can get in to those places that seem a little bit inaccessible when we're doing our hip work from the floor. Walk your hands back through center. Stay low. Release that foot. Step your feet wider than your mat distance apart, about mat distance apart rather, and turning out in opposite directions. You're in a squat, Malasana. Take your hands to your heart. Inhale here. Exhale. So you can stay here or take your left hand to the floor. Lift your right arm up. Turn your right palm back behind you, bend into that right arm, and maybe catch a bind. So much shoulder opening in a practice enables us sometimes to get to places we can't normally get. So just play with this, and if you can't reach, you could use your strap, or I just grab my t-shirt to get a little resistance. Come back through center, take a moment here, and then move into that shape on the other side. And if your heels are lifted, that's absolutely okay. It means the pose is a bit trickier for you, but it's totally normal. Maybe you lift up that top arm, you turn your palms to face one another, and you dance with binding here. And just a few breaths. Release your hands, walk them behind you, drop your bum to the floor, and take the soles of your feet together. Here, we'll do one forward fold for the 1,000 back bends that we did. Interlace your hands under your feet. Inhale, lift your heart in your chest. Exhale, hinge forward. You can keep your spine really long, so it feels like you're kind of ejecting out of your hips. But if you need to round after all that back bending, you can round. That's okay. Good. Inhale, lift back up. Bring your knees together. One more. Stretch out your legs. Turn your feet face up. Stretch your arms high. Reach through your fingers. And think of that analogy really sprouting up and out from your pelvis as you hinge forward. Your knees can bend here if this is too much for your hamstrings. You might take your peace fingers around your big toes and use that as a resistance to keep lengthening and dropping your spine. Or maybe your hands come on either side of your feet. If you have your strap nearby, it can serve as a really wonderful tool in this shape too. So you could wrap your strap around the balls of your feet. Look to your toes or go into that curly spine and look right to your navel. Start to lift your head back up. Find your strap and bring it with you as you come down onto your spine. Take your body onto your spine, just rock from side to side. Place the soles of your feet down on the floor. I'll show you a few variations. Option one, just shift your hips up towards the left and stack your knees on top of one another over towards the right, working your left shoulder down. Option two, again, IT band focus. Take that strap into your right hand around the ball of your left foot and kick your left heel out. Keep working your left shoulder to the floor and use the strap in your right hand to find where you want that sensation to hit in your left leg. So play with the rotation of your pelvis. You might drape your pelvis down or push it down in space. You could even place your thumb right into your hip crease and start to level it out as you pull with your strap up. And just play and explore here a little bit. 5 breaths. Gently bend into your left knee, come back through center, stabilize in neutral for a brief moment. Root down through your feet, shift your hips over towards the right, and bend into both knees. So again, a plain vanilla spinal twist is perfectly fine here. Start to imprint your right shoulder to the floor. Or if you'd like to get deeper into the outer edges of your leg, you can take the strap into your left hand, wrap it around the ball of your right foot, and extend that leg out. 5 breaths wherever you decide to go. Good. Inhale, come back through center. Squeeze both knees in towards your chest. Take the outside edges of your feet or the backs of your thighs. Happy baby pose and just rock from side to side. And you can choose for your final pose one of 2 options: traditional Shavasana, lying flat on your back. Or after a big back bending practice, it can feel really nice in the spine to take legs up the wall. So if you've got a wall or a couch nearby, you can come here. And if you'd like to do both, I'll let you know when we're at our 2-minute mark. So then you can take 2 minutes in legs up the wall, as well as 2 minutes in Shavasana. Go to the place that feels right for your body. Set your hands somewhere that feel comfortable. Close your eyes and enjoy. If you'd like to move into Shavasana, take your time to do that now. Feel free to stay in legs up the wall. Wherever you are, can you move your attention to your heart center? Bring your attention to your heart center and think about love and kindness. The most important lessons of yoga. Set an intention for yourself to move through every interaction, every conversation, and every reaction that you have with love and kindness. Maybe just for tonight, maybe tonight seeps into tomorrow, perhaps for an entire week or a forever. Can you practice being kind? Please take a long, deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide. Exhale with a sigh. Start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Reach through your toes. And exhale, bend your knees in towards your chest. Roll onto either side of your body. Patiently, especially if you're coming from upside down, take a little more time. Come up to a comfortable seat. Take one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Think about someone that you love and something that you love to eat or drink. Take a deep breath in like you're swallowing it up, sipping it up, kissing it maybe, and then open your mouth wide and exhale. Thank you for practicing. Keep practicing. Namaste.